Hey everyone, welcome back to the Little Shop of Hoarders and the PDX Picker channel. I am Chris. We have a video today. It's going to be a little bit different format than I've done in the past. So let's give it a shot and see if you all like it. We're going to start a video by going over some of my favorite finds from outsourcing last week. And then we're going to end it by going to the computer and I'm going to show you what my best sales over the week were. I just kind of want to go over the whole week, what the total sales were, and what some of my best sales of the week were. So stick around at the intro song. We're going to get into that new video format.
Wanna buy that Farrah Fawcett poster? There's dispensers and a toaster. Don't know why. That kind of stuff you throw away. I'll sell on eBay.
All right, so I'll start off by just going over the haul, the overall haul that I got last week. All this right here is from the last week. Well, this specifically, this bag, that bag there, and that bag there. So quite a few items. It was a good sourcing week. These were 95% thrift stores, and I did go to one estate sale that was okay. I found some things there. Went to a new thrift store that was a bit of a drive, but it was worth it because they had some really good prices and a couple of good things there. So let's go ahead and I'm going to pull out the items that I think were the best finds of the week. This whole bag right here was all from one trip to the Goodwill. So in spite of what most of you might think or hear, and frankly most of the time what I feel, there are still some things you can find that are good items to resell at Goodwill. So let's go over some of my favorites here. I want to start off with this shirt. This is a Peter Millar Summer Comfort shirt. It's a golf shirt. It's got like a cocktail, bunch of little martini glasses and things of that nature on it. I paid $9.99 for it, so definitely am still paying up, but this can sell for probably $28 to $35, just depending on if you find the right buyer. It's a good size, double XL. I also found my first William Murray polo there, but they're asking $12.99, which just didn't quite make sense on the returns. William Murray is the Bill Murray, the actor, and he has polo shirts, golf shirts that he puts out, and they're pretty cool, pretty funky little patterns on them. So if you happen to come across one of those, and it's not $12.99, hopefully it's $10 or less, definitely pick it up. Those are good buys. I did find 4 golf clubs there. The club, 3 different clubs from the Strata line, which is like a lower version of Callaway clubs. Those were $4.99 each. They'll sell for about $25 plus shipping. And then this is an interesting club. It's called the History Stick by Natural Golf. It's like a 60-degree lob wedge, and also paid $4.99 for that. This has a pretty high sell-through rate. And let's get a nice close-up shot of that hickory stick right there. Hopefully that focuses nicely. Pretty cool. About $35 for that. On a new cart, speaking of golf, this came out for $7.99, which is really cheap. This is Jim Sourwine's Inside Approach Slice Correction Trainer. So these have a really high sell-through rate. I think this will sell for probably $40, $45, somewhere around there. I can't remember exactly what it was. It'll sell super quickly. This is brand new inside. Nothing's been opened. Inside, the box has been opened. But slice trainers or swing trainers, golf-related, are usually pretty good pickups. Definitely, of course, comp them out, look them up. But very happy for only $7.99 on that. This is a cool little vintage toy or game. It's from Tomy. Paid $3.99 for this. It's called the Run Yourself Ragged. It's like kind of like a cross between a maze and a mousetrap type game, but you got this pinball type thing that you're trying to get around the maze here. If these are complete, they have a pretty good sell-through rate and a good price, maybe $25 to $40 depending on the condition. Probably more closer to $25. The concern I have is there's some sort of part that regularly breaks on here, and I tried to figure out what it was, and for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what it was. But even if it is broken, it can sell for like $12 plus shipping, so I figured for a price of $3.99, I was safe either way, but hopefully I'll be able to figure out what it is that usually breaks on these, and hopefully it's not broken on this, so we can get a little higher price. I ended up getting this for half price, $9.99. This is a Yep maxi. It's some sort of bicycle seat, like it's a child seat that mounts onto a bike. And this is just the mount itself. It's probably hard for you to see on there, but there's just basically the mount for the bike itself. I had a real tough time finding this exact item, but the seat sells for multiple hundreds of dollars. I think, from what I found, comps on this are in the $100 range. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure though. And this is new inside, so even for if it's $50, still at $10, it's going to be a very good deal. Inside here are some exercise bands. Most of what I got today was in the sporting goods section, which was a great aisle to go down. I don't always find stuff down there, but today or that day I found a ton of things. These are called body elastics. Inside here you can see there's just a bunch of exercise bands. Hello. I know some of these have been used, but I only paid $9.99 for it, and these can sell for like $45 to $60, depending on the condition of things in there. So, high-end exercise equipment like this, definitely good for resale. And then last for the Goodwill trip, I actually found 3 of these. I picked these up for only $7.99. They are new with the tags in the bag, I should say. These are from a company called NRS. They are thigh straps for kayaking. When I first looked these up on eBay, there were none that had sold, none in the last 90 days. So at first I was thinking, this is kind of a bust. But just a reminder, I went ahead and took the extra step and I went to the TerraPeak section of the eBay app, the research section, and I went back 3 years. A bunch of these sold last year, the last couple of years, for the $40 to $55 range. So I'm going to have one listing, quantity of 3, probably put them at $55 each, and that'll be really good for $8 each purchase. So super, super good trip to Goodwill last week. They're not always like that, but man, I was super pumped that happened. Not to be outdone, I did go to that same Goodwill a couple of days later. Somebody had donated this massive collection of very high-end board games. These are the kind that some of them are $100+ new. Most of them had been opened. There were a few new ones that still weren't opened. And when I went the first day, when I got the rest of that stuff, there were a few out there, but they were just too overpriced. So I was hoping to wait for the half-off day or when they would go on half-off and I'd pick up a bunch of them. But when I went back again a couple days later, they actually had even more of those out there. And I guess they still have a bunch in the back. So I guess I'm thinking probably 100+ of these high-end board games, things of that nature, are still left to be put out on the floor. So it's very exciting. But I found a few that I'm going to go over here real quick because they're kind of obscure, not too common. This is a game, it's sealed, paid $24.99 for this. So obviously paid up for it. It's called Sword and Sorcery. Darkness Falls. This is an expansion for some game called Soul Rank. I believe this sells for like $80, something around that range. If I'm going to spend $25 on something, I got to at least 3x my money, and it might even have been more than that, maybe like $100. So that was a nice pickup. I will say, though, on the flip side, it might not be quite that much. When it's new in the package like this, I will take a little bit more of a risk. If the sell-through rate is higher, not a risk, but I won't take as much of a profit or need as much of a profit if the sell-through rate is high and it's new like this in the package. Okay, this one I took a big risk on. $29.99. It's called the Ascension Deck Building Year 5 Collector's Edition. This is not new in the package. It has been opened, but it looks to be in really good condition still. This, if it's new, is crazy expensive. Hundreds of dollars. Even pre-owned, I'm looking at probably $150 and up. Just depends on the right buyer, obviously, and exactly what the condition is. So, just happened to come across this rare collector's edition, and it was a real nice find, even at $30. Lastly, one more sealed game. I've actually sold something almost exactly like this pre-owned. Took a long time, sold for about $25. This I paid $12.99 for. It's an Arkham Horror expansion pack. I think this will sell for like $45 to $50. So as I mentioned, Goodwill really came through for me last week. I do want to go back soon because I think a lot of these games, some of the older ones that were first put out, are starting to go on 50% off, and I do not want to miss when that happens. I'm going to quickly go over some shoe finds, some of the more interesting ones. At my favorite thrift store, I've seen these before, and I think they were either too expensive or I just ignored them. But we have these Z coils. Have you ever come across these before? I paid $19.99 for them, which is insanely expensive. I don't remember why I paid that much, but the sell-through rate on these is really high, and these will go for about $50. So ideally, obviously, you want to get those for less than that. Full price on these was originally $40, so I got them 50% off. Still paid $20. Would have liked to have paid about $10, maybe $15, but $50, and it should be a real quick, probably 2-month sale or so. I forgot I actually found these at Goodwill too. A little bit annoying, but I can get it fixed relatively quickly. Paid $19.99 for these. These are some on-cloud Swifts. These are brand new without the box. One of them doesn't have shoelaces, so I'm going to have to just replace both of the shoelaces so that they match. But new without the box on cloud Swifts can usually sell for around $80 to $90 and should be relatively quickly. It's a men's size 11.5, so a good size, good model. Just need to find some replacement shoelaces. I have a big pile of shoelaces, but I don't know if I have any black ones left. So either way, that's probably $4 for a thing of shoelaces. Not that big of a deal. I picked these up at my favorite thrift store. It's from a company called Samuel Hubbard. And these are made in Portugal. Really nice pair of shoes. Only paid $7.50 for these. The sell-through rate on this is not that great, but these have a long tail on them. But these will sell for a lot of money, probably $90 or so once they do sell. So I was willing to buy those because they were so cheap, $7.50. If I can list them for $90, it takes 6 months, maybe even a year to sell. That's worth it to me because I was able to get them so inexpensive. This is super cool, but I still don't know how I feel about it. This is something called Blue Riot, Blueriot. I have no idea if you'll ever come across one of these. There's a few that have been listed on eBay. There's one listed right now, I think. These are for pool, like swimming pools. It's a smart pool water tester. Basically, you put your water in there, it'll do the chemical analysis on it, and then send the results to your cell phone. The cool thing about it is this is like $900 new. Got it for $12.99. Yay, right? The bad thing about it is the one that's listed on eBay right now is about $150 new. So, and then furthermore, this is used and it's missing a pretty important piece. There's a little device that allows this, it goes inside this, and it's what connects to your home Wi-Fi. It's missing that. You can buy a replacement, but it costs around $60. What I'm hoping, and the reason why I bought this for 2 reasons. Number one, I'm hoping that the other one that's listed sells, and then I will have the only one available on eBay. And so the options for that buyer will be either to go buy a new one for $900 or buy mine for $100, knowing that they're going to have to spend $60 to get that little Wi-Fi chip thing. So that's what I'm hoping. The worst case scenario, if that doesn't work out and maybe a bunch more start showing up on eBay, we have a swimming pool. I would potentially consider using this for myself. Just need to buy that $60 thing and start using it to test our pool water at home. So either way, it's going to be a win-win, but I'm hoping that that new one will sell and I'll be able to list this for like $100. All right, this is not the season for this, but I was still super jazzed to find this. This is a very cool vintage Woolrich wool jacket. Probably from the 90s, I would say. It's got that cool Aztec print. Oh, that color is showing up really nice on the camera right now. I had to pay up for this, $24.99. I didn't want to pay that much, especially because it is out of season. But this will sell for 125 bucks pretty regularly once people are in the mood for buying a heavy wool jacket like that. The other option is I almost considered keeping this for myself, even though I know for a fact my wife would hate it if I wore this. This is not my style at all. She would probably not want to be seen with me in public, but it is so cool that I very much contemplated keeping it for myself. Didn't find at this time of year I don't do a lot of clothes hunting when I'm outsourcing at the thrift stores. When I'm at garage sales, I'll definitely look at clothes all day. But I decided to do a quick run through the jacket sweater section, and super happy to find one of these. These Aztec prints, still a little bit, I'm pretty sure they're still in demand. Don't know how long that's going to be, so I want to take advantage of it. And I'm going to still get this listed very soon, even though it's out of season. These shoes right here, paid a lot, $24.99 for them. They are Cole Haan shoes. Get you a nice, good look at that. I don't remember the model off the top of my head. Inside it says made in Italy. I will throw up a comp here so you know what I'm talking about. What was really cool about these, Google Lens to the rescue, these were a limited edition. They only made a certain number of pairs of these. I don't know exactly how many, but not a ton. And when they were new, I think they were like $900, somewhere, maybe $850, somewhere around that range. These are in pretty good condition. They've definitely been worn, but there's no major issues that I see at all. Really good size 12, and I'm going to ask probably 125, maybe 150 for these. Just to come across these, it's pretty cool because of the rarity. Like I said, I don't remember how many were made, but it wasn't that many. I want to say something like maybe 500. I'm not sure. So it's just cool to kind of hold a piece of shoe history. That sounds stupid even just saying it. But yeah, a lot of high-end clothing items, clothing and shoes. These, the Samuel Hubbards, which I believe are like $300 new, something like that. It's a lot of really good finds. All right, that's it for clothes. Let's go over some of the estate sale finds I found. Just a couple of okay things. Wasn't that great, which is usually the case for estate sales around here. For me anyway, I'm never going to go, if it's a company-run estate sale, I'm rarely going to fill up a bag. Usually it's 3 or 4 items at the most, and that's what happened on this one. Best find was this here. Also only paid $3 for it. It's a $5 for it. It's a Slender Tone Flex. It's like one of those things you put on your abs and like electric pulses go through. As far as I know, and everything I've known about or read about these things don't work at all, but people still buy them. I think this can sell for like 45, 50 bucks. So that was a really nice find. I say this was the best one. It probably is, but I have a wild card here. Nothing else is just super cool. I think I'm going to end the showcase here after that, and then we're going to go into what sold right after this. But this is the coolest item, the biggest wild card. Could be worth $20, could be worth $500. I don't know. So let's take a look. This big old binder thing. Paid $10 for it. It is chock full. I mean, we're talking probably 100, maybe 200. I guess the last pages aren't. So probably like 100 pages of these things. What these are things from the U.S. Treasury Department Prescription Blank National Prohibition Act certificates. I am fairly certain this is not worth $500. My guess, somebody might be willing to spend maybe $50 on it. I just thought it was super cool. Let's zoom in and hopefully that will focus nicely. Like it says here, Prescription Blank National Prohibition Act. These are, near as I can tell, just old prescriptions from, in this case, September 27th, 1923. It says, so it's got the full name of the patient, their address, the name of their the pharmacist, their address. I don't know exactly what this is, but there are Like I said, hundreds of them. But this is what the prescription. Okay, I guess these are literal prescriptions. So this is what prescriptions were written on back then. Most of these I can't read, but this one, next one's very clear. Whiskey, OT. Whiskey. So I don't know exactly why. I don't know enough about the Prohibition era time period, but apparently you were able to get prescriptions for alcohol from your pharmacist. And these are all from the Brooklyn, New York area. But here's a nice one, pretty clear as day. Right up here it says whiskey, OT, whatever that is. Some sort of shorthand prescription pharmacy thing. This one is from Baldwin, New York. The patient was from Baldwin, New York. All of this said this prescription must not be refilled. Anyway, so there's all those things. Here is something from Dr. Hassler, like a handwritten prescription for a pint of the best whiskey. I haven't looked these up at all. I'm going to set the camera down, or I'm going to set this down and see if I can find anything like this on eBay. It's definitely pretty cool. I've looked it up. I still am not really certain on the value. There are 26 listed that are they're all just individual, like one prescription. There's 26 of those listed. Only 3 have sold. One sold for $20 on auction, another sold for $29.99 free shipping, and another sold for $50 free shipping, but that one was framed. I don't think selling them individually is the way to go, but I think I could easily lock that up. The condition isn't spectacular. It's kind of bent in some places, but they're all legible, all readable. I bet you I'm going to ask something like $200 for that. I think that could be a big, cool home run on that one. So that one was probably my coolest, most interesting find in the last week. All right, let's go to the computer now. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go over probably the top 10 sales from the week, and then I'm also going to go over my total sales numbers for the week. All right, so right here you can see the sales for the last week were not good. I only had $675 of total sales. This was for the week of April 6th through April 13th. That was compared to the previous 8 days. Sales were down almost 50%. So not doing great. Only sold 22 things. Average sales price was $30.68. But nonetheless, there were still some interesting things that and good things that sold. So let's go over those. First off, I had a video not too long ago that talked about this buyer that was giving me all this flack for charging $44.99 for this Carhartt brown tall boot bag. And the reason that I asked that was because right here you can see the price was $44.99 new, and there were none others listed on eBay. He said I was gouging. He was able to buy them for $30 off of Amazon. Why couldn't I sell them for $35? Well, a couple days later, somebody bought it for the full price, $44.99. So don't sell your items short just because people are trying to bully you. Don't sell your items short just because people are trying to bully you into paying a lower price. But these are really cool. If you happen to find one, if you can get it cheap, dirt cheap, probably $10 or under, these will sell pretty well. As I've mentioned many times before, I love selling Bibles. This is the Holy Bible New Analytical Indexed Edition by John Dixon from 1973. Picked this up for just a couple of bucks, sold for $39.98 plus shipping very quickly. Condition on this, you can see, not very good. Lots of folded edges on here, but this particular Bible is in demand. So it has writing in it. Lots of things that people are maybe nervous pulling the trigger on, but it did not cause any issues on selling this. This sold really fast too. Not only did it sell for really good money, I think it sold in under 2 weeks. So big fan of special edition Bibles. A while ago, I picked up a whole bunch of guitar pedals at a garage sale. When I say a while ago, I literally mean like a week and a half ago. Not that long ago. I have them all listed. I've sold enough to pay the price. So I've broken even now, and everything else I sell, and I think I have like 3 or 4 more. It's going to be pure profit. This is the first one that's sold. This is a Rock Tech Super Delay. I just sold this for untested parts only because it's missing a battery case here. And that sold for $24.99 plus shipping in like a day after I listed it. So that is a very high demand one. And skip ahead to this right here. I also sold these, and this one really surprised me. So I look at these, and as you can clearly tell, you see how these have just Sharpie written on there. These are homemade or handmade, whatever you want to call it, guitar pedals. One of them is for fuzz distortion, and the other is a treble booster. Just very clearly not super fancy, and those sold also super fast for $49.99 plus shipping. I happen to notice that these handmade pedals seem to do fairly well individually, but the fact I lotted both of them together because I thought, well, who knows, maybe that will help sell it faster, and it worked. It sold super fast. So like I said, the $50 and the $25, I paid $60 total for all of the pedals, and I have like 4 or 5 others. So we've broken even, and everything else is profit moving on forward. I was just talking about how I like those old vintage kind of old massager. This is a Panasonic Panabrator 2. Not that old, but it is vintage. This took a little bit of time to sell, a couple of months. Did not pay very much. I think I paid $6.99 for it, and this sold for $30.99 plus shipping. People just like these. It's usually better when it's just one part on here. Sometimes they have like the dual knobs on the end. Those aren't as popular as these single ones. This next item that sold wasn't a great sale. I did not make much of a profit at all. I paid $38 for all these. I have sold 2 of them, I think for like $10 each. What I'm talking about here is I have this old lot of vintage tool checks from the Bay City Chevrolet factory. These are basically what would happen is when you were an employee in the factory and you needed to take a tool to your station to work on something, you would have one of these little coin type things that would have your employee number on it, and that way they knew that employee number 45932 or whatever had this particular tool, and these can be collectible. Well, this particular one is not that collectible. It had a couple of things going against it. Number one, these were blank. They did not have any employee numbers on the back. And number two, Bay City, that factory itself, is just not that collectible. I guess if this was a Detroit-specific factory, then that really would have helped. Somebody sent me an offer for $80 plus shipping on these, and I definitely took it right away. I originally had them listed for $150. They were in my 25% off sale down to $112, but somebody sent me that $80 offer. He is a collector, you can tell. He's from Detroit. He's specifically mentioned to me about how these aren't as collectible, so he knew what he was doing, but he felt comfortable paying $80 for it, and I felt very comfortable getting my money back and some profit on top of that. Like I said, I did sell 2 of these for around $20 for the both of them. So all in all, I made about $100 off of that $38 purchase. This was cool. I bought this for $1 at the estate sale. The estate sale with a tragic past. Basically the one where somebody died in the house and they weren't found for a while, and there was a section of the house that unfortunately still smelled like dead body. Well, found a lot of great things there, including this. This is a vintage Max Factor perfume compact necklace. These are really cool. Got this like bamboo edge and this neat I don't know what this is, porcelain type thing. And then these, here's the back of it. These open up, and you can see inside it says Max Factor, and this is where you would put your, woman would put her Max Factor perfume. There's like a powder perfume or a cream perfume or something. You would kind of, I don't know exactly, maybe put it up, take a little swipe of it and put it behind your ears. I don't know what it was like, but these are vintage, they're collectible, and I paid only $1 for it, and it sold for $34.95 plus shipping. Took a long time, about a year. Didn't take up a lot of room though, so I was okay with it taking so long. I came across these very recently at an estate sale. These are Johnny Original Vintage giant-sized hand warmers. So this right here, super cool. It is a hand warmer. You open it up. Oh, let's see right here. You can see Johnny GI hand warmer, patented right around. This one was from the about 1970 era. So this is Vietnam War. Aladdin Manufacturing is who made it. This right here is like a little wick. Couldn't think of that term. So you fill up the container in this section with some sort of flammable liquid. I don't know if it's lighter fluid or something similar to a kerosene. I'm not sure. You light this little area, and this will have soaked up some of that fluid, and it will then light on fire, or it'll be hot and burn slowly. You put the lid back on. Where is that section? You put the lid back on, it looks like this, and then this bag right here goes around it, and it just stays nice and warm, and you can safely heat your hands up because this bag protects this hot metal from touching your skin. I thought the coolest part about this whole thing is you see this circle hole right there? That is to light your cigarette with. So you can, I think that's specifically just on the GI models, but I'm not sure. These are really collectible, very quick sellers, huge sell-through rate. There's like 30 listed, 250 or 300 sold. If you can find, I paid $4 for this one. I bought 2 of them. This one was in nicer condition. Sold it for $24.99 plus shipping. The other one was not as nice. This case was kind of cracked and stuff. Ended up taking an offer and sold out for $17 plus shipping. But how cool, you could stick your cigarette in here to light your cigarette, warm your hands at the same time. Johnny Original Hand Warmer. This here I showed you from picked this up at my church rummage sale. This is a chemistry set by Hamilton Bell. You take this and you make like molecules out of the different balls here. And it also came with a set of cards here, right here, these chemistry study cards. This didn't really have much value. Most of the value was in this molecular model thing. You can see right here, that's kind of what it looks like. Paid $2 for this, and it sold for $34.99 plus shipping very quickly. Well, not very quickly. It took a couple of months. I don't know if there were any others listed at the time. It's just not that common. I think this came out in the 60s, maybe the late 50s, probably the 60s though. So these are super cool finds for people who are needing to study their chemistry. I'm kind of thinking maybe this was sold to a chemistry teacher. Who knows? Last item I'll show you. This was a set of my La Loopsy Tinies. This is just one set. I had 5 total listed, so 4 more sets that were similar to this, where there's a lot of 10. I paid virtually nothing. It's all profit now at this point. But I originally had these listed for $12 plus shipping. Somebody reached out to me and sheepishly said, hey, I know you're probably not going to say yes, but would you consider taking $35 for the 5 lots, so $7 each plus shipping? And I said, absolutely. I mean, I didn't say that to her, but in my mind, I'm like, absolutely. When these sell, they'll either sell to one person like this all at once. They usually don't just sell one at a time. There's not a huge number of collectors out there. Although it's weird, every time I list these, and this is probably the 10th or 12th lot that I've sold, there will be tons of watchers. Like these listings all had 6, 7, 9 watchers on them. And I understand not wanting to spend 17. I mean, these things are like 1 inch tall. They are not very big, but for some people really like them. And I am not exaggerating. I probably have another 200 of these, maybe more, that I still haven't listed. I don't want to saturate the market with just tons and tons and tons and tons of these things because they don't sell super fast. The rest of these that are listed, almost all of them, I think, are from being shipped from China. I don't know why that is, but it seems that I have kind of cornered the market on Lala Loopsy Tinies for the American market, that is, anyway. So I only paid like $8 for this lot of like 400 of them. And like I said, I've probably already sold 100, and I've probably made approximately $100 off of all of them. Might not be quite that much, but it's really close. So I think there is a chance that I could eventually sell over 500, maybe even as much as $750 of these Lala Loopsy Tinies when it's all said and done off of an $8 purchase. It's going to take a while, but it's so easy and simple, and they take up no space. Who knows? Eventually I might run out of people that want to buy them, but I think this next round, what I'm going to do, right now I've been listing them as $12 plus shipping. I think I'm just going to list them for $14.99, free shipping, and who knows, maybe that will entice a few more people to buy them. I think this is an item that screams free shipping. This is for sure something that free shipping was kind of designed for, is this little tiny small thing so that people don't have to think, oh my god, I gotta pay $12 plus shipping on top of it. Anyway, that's going to be my strategy moving forward. A slow week, but still some interesting sales nonetheless. So that's going to do it for today's video. This is a new format. This could be extremely long. I'm not sure. Let me know if you like it. Comment below. Is this interesting? Is this too long and drawn out and boring? Let me know. I'm interested. I like this because what happens is as soon as I get orders, I can ship very easily every day. I don't need to worry about filming and then shipping, so it helps me out a lot. Hopefully it helps you out as well. Thanks to my PDX Posse member, HarleyGal143, and to all of you that are subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing it now, and like this video if you did. Good luck with your reselling ventures out there and your non-reselling ventures. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care.